extremely clued in. It's a major escalation. Israeli forces have begun, quote, limited, localized and targeted, unquote, ground raids in Lebanon 2 days after it killed the group's chief, Hassan Nasrallah, in an airstrike threatening to worsen the Middle East crisis. The question is, how far does Israel plan to go? Let's talk to the best-known IDF TV face who distinguished himself in briefing the world on the Gaza war launched after the deadly Hamas terror attack on October 7th. And I want us viewers to talk to Jonathan Conricus, former IDF spokesperson. Let's go across to him. Mr. Conricus, there are some who say that the diabolical Nasrallah, that this individual who knows no scruples, is infamous, is not a terrorist, but a martyr fighting against Israeli occupation. And therefore, he should not have been killed. It's a war crime. Your response?
As you say, misplaced. Maybe they have had lots of bad information, fake information and propaganda provided to them. Maybe they are not aware of the fact that this man has blood on his hands going as long back as 1992, when he became Secretary General of Hezbollah. He is a man who has directed the abduction and killing of Israeli civilians and soldiers, who has directed rockets towards centers of population in Israel, killing hundreds of Israelis. He is a man who is a designated terrorist by most determined to be a terrorist by most Western and democratic governments, and a man that he spent all of his adult life dreaming about and killing Jews and Westerners and anybody who was his enemy. So in my mind, there's no real doubt that Hassan Nasrallah was one of the worst terrorists that I think Israel has dealt with. I'm very happy and relieved that he is no longer on this earth and he won't be terrorizing anybody else. And I'm also happy that most of his lieutenants and his chain of command is also not going to
so
be
let me ask
around
you, critics,
to fire.
No, yes, Mr. Jonathan, critics are saying that Israel should not have unnecessarily escalated the war. How do you respond to this?
Well, I think that the unnecessary escalation started on October 7 and on October 8, when Hamas attacked Israel from Gaza on the October 7 and perpetrated the worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust, killing more than 1,200 Israelis, civilians and soldiers, and abducting 252 into Gaza. And the day after that, Hezbollah joined and followed suit and started to attack Israel from Lebanon. And what we've seen over the last 11 and a half months are relentless attacks at Israel from both Hamas and Hezbollah. So when people speak about escalation, I think they should be aware of what happened before and the fact that on October 6th, Israel wasn't striking anywhere and wasn't attacking anybody. But Israel was attacked on October the 7th, and it is the very basic duty of any government, any military, to protect its civilians and to protect and defend the sovereignty of a country. That is what Israel is doing now. Israel has to defend itself, and defending itself means taking out the leadership of terrorist organizations that are trying to kill Israelis. And important to state, 70,000 Israelis. I know that in Indian numbers that is not a big number, but in Israel it is a big number. 70,000 Israelis have been pushed out of their homes, forced to flee from their homes in northern Israel because of direct rocket missile fire from Lebanon by Hezbollah. And they have been forced out of their homes and living in temporary housing for almost a year. And that's a situation that, of course, the Israeli government has to rectify and to create the conditions on the ground to allow these civilians to go back home.
So what's the end game? Is it going? Are you going to sort of now take the war to Iran, for example, the Ayatollah?
Well, I mean, Israel has already struck Iran once, and I think Israel has proven its capacity to do so. I think that Iran the Iranian regime is aware and wary of Israeli long-range capabilities to strike sensitive targets in Iran. And I actually think that's one of the reasons why Iran has refrained from attacking Israel, even though they said that they would be doing so in order to avenge the elimination of the Hamas senior terrorist Ismail Haniyeh, who was eliminated in Tehran, in the Iranian capital, about a month ago. They vowed to avenge his death, which they blame Israel for, but they have not done so yet. One of the reasons, I believe, is that they are cognizant of the fact that if they do strike Israel again, as they did on April 13th and 14th, there will be severe consequences to deal with, and the infrastructure in Iran will be damaged. So yes, I think Israel has the ability to do so, but Israel should do it in a smart and coordinated way. It should have the support of regional and global powers. The more countries that will support it, the better. Of course, beginning with the United States of America, but other regional players like the Saudis. And of course, it wouldn't hurt to have support from great Asian powers as well, like India. At the end of the day, Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, is a destabilizing actor in the region. It spreads violence, instability. They feed off sectarian strife, and they bring nothing but trouble to every area that they go into. There's a path of destruction that follows Iranian footprints, whether it is in Iraq, in Syria, in Lebanon, in Gaza. They're now trying to destabilize Jordan. Wherever they go, destruction and violence and war follows. And I think that Israel really should do more in order to deal with the evil and tyrannical regime of Iran.
Well, Lieutenant Colonel, thank you for speaking with me. It's very, very trying times for that region. Stay safe, and hopefully we can chat again. Thank you very much. Viewers, we leave it to this on the Hard Facts. We're taking a very short break. We're right back.